published 11:56 EDT, 3 November 2017 updated 12:18 EDT, 3 November 2017 Chelsea have struggled to replicate last season's imperious form in the opening months of this campaign. Tuesday night's 30 Champions League loss away to Roma was a fresh low point and heaped more pressure on their manager Antonio Conte. But in this piece, Chelsea fan Callum West explains precisely why the club must stick with the Italian. Chelsea manager Antonio Conte looks horrified as his side slumped to a 30 loss to Roma despite almost constant success for the last 20 years. There haven't been many times in my life where I've enjoyed supporting Chelsea more than I did last season, and that's down to one man, Antonio Conte. With the downturn in form over the past few months, there will undoubtedly be comparisons with the manager of our opponents this weekend and the ill-fated third season of his second spell in charge at Chelsea. However, for all the talk of a potential Mourinho season, by far the most depressing spell I can remember as a Chelsea fan was the remainder of the season under Gus Hiddink. I've seen worse players and performances in my 25 years of going to Stamford Bridge, but not many less inspiring. It was against this backdrop that Antonio Conte took over at Chelsea. However, with many of the same players, and despite a well-documented shaky spell early in the season, his Chelsea was the antithesis of his predecessors, inspired, passionate and combative. It was only a few months ago that Conte was leading Chelsea to Premier League glory. The typically animated Conte issues instructions from the sidelines at the Stadio Olimpico. He not only rejuvenated Chelsea on the pitch, but he united a club that had not felt wholly together since the sacking of Roberto Di Matteo. Despite the initial success of Mourinho's second spell, it was never felt completely united, from the sale of fan favorites such as Juan Mata, the ostracizing of Ashley Cole and the through-the-back-door departure of Frank Lampard. On top of this there was sniping at the fans over the atmosphere and the backdrop of bitterness from the fans towards the board after the Benitez debacle. Conte set about changing this immediately, consciously buying into Chelsea. Being photographed looking up at the statue of Peter Osgood, the king of Stamford Bridge, on his first day in charge of the club with that trademark twinkle in his blue eyes set the tone for his reign. He took the club to his heart, and the fans took him to ours. Diving into the crowd following Costa's last-minute winner against West Ham on the opening weekend of the season only strengthened the bond between manager and fans, a passionate celebration that became a recurring theme throughout the season. Chelsea fans have warmed to the Italian manager, whom they refer to as the Don. Despite all the ongoing headaches, Conte should be given time to turn things around. Conte's relationship with the fans is like Mourinho at his touchline sprinting, badge thumping, best, with none of the fans need to do more deflection after a bad performance that somewhat soured his second spell. He leads the players over to our traveling support every other weekend and applauds all four sides of the ground after every home game. It may be something of a cliché, but it seems that Conte, following a career spent entirely in Italy, where supporters have more influence at their clubs than they do in England, inherently understands that football is nothing without the fans. He wants to win for us and share in our celebrations. This infectious attitude seemed to rub off on everyone at Stamford Bridge last season, and some of the celebrations at games such as Manchester City, Everton, and West Brom away last season will live long in the memory of players, coaching staff and fans. It is because of this that regardless of the result against Manchester United at the weekend, and regardless of where Chelsea finish the season, Conte must be afforded the opportunity to again shape the team into his image.